Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Middle-Aged Mutants Show Live. We are broadcasting to you telepathically from the Mos Eisley Cantina. As with all telepathy, emotional transference is unavoidable, so if any time during this broadcast you feel the need to shoot first, well, don't worry, baby. These three scoundrels, we only shoot first. My name is Ty. I'll be your host for this evening. As always, I'm joined by the Brotherhood of mostly benevolent mutants, Bodz and Noach. Gentlemen, may the force be with you, and how's it going?
I'm good. I mean, unlike the guys in the bar, I like you. That one guy doesn't much like you either. But I like you, Ty. So I'm doing good.
I appreciate that. I was like, which one of us is like? If we had to pick here, let me go ahead and let's get really out the intro music here. If we had to pick, so Bodz is definitely going to go for Han.
Oh, heck yeah. Come on, Chewie.
Han, I guess I don't know. I guess that what would you want to go for? Noach?
Oh, maybe Obi-Wan Kenobi possibly because he's a little slow. And,
I'm gonna go.
What are you saying about yourself?
Like I'm just like he has a beard. He's a little slow. He's old. He's physically.
He's old. Yeah. Okay, not mentally slow.
I mean, judging by some of the prequel movies, I mean maybe, but he's a little. He's got some snap crackle pop going on whenever he uses his arms and legs. So
yeah.
I'm the youngest out of us three, but still.
I thought you were gonna go with like Chewie because of the whole hair thing. You guys in the hair.
That's a good point.
I'll
actually go with Greedo, not just because I'm greedy, but because when I shoot first, it's like in a herky-jerky emotion that doesn't look natural.
This is true. I've seen Noid shoot.
Did they? I can't remember. Did they add Boba Fett back? They didn't add him to the first movie, right? They just added. Yeah, no, they did, right? Because he is in the hangar, right?
Yeah. That was what they added at the 97 re-release?
The special edition.
Yes. The one where like Harrison Ford walks behind the original just fat guy Jabba the Hutt. So they had to have like that herky-jerky
up and down over his tail.
Up and down over and he doesn't even act like he's stepping up. That was so funny.
Yeah.
Can you imagine being the guy that was like the visual effects guy that had to do that in the beginning?
He's like, how am I going to do that?
This looks like shit.
This is horrible. There's nothing I can do about it.
Harrison Ford kind of levitates a little bit. It doesn't look and that was actually, there's been a few different, at least one different edition where they kind of revised Jabba a little bit, cleaned him up to make him look a little better.
And one thing I think I noticed, if I may be remembering this wrong, but like that scene with Boba Fett in the hangar, he's wearing the armor from Return of the Jedi when he should be wearing the armor from Empire. Because that hadn't happened yet, but I don't know. That's
true, but he has more than one outfit, I guess. But
I guess because he gets different like gauntlets, different colored gauntlets.
I saw this fan made thing where they actually some of these nerds they have so much time and the resources to do these things, but they recreated that scene in the hangar with a hologram, holographic Jabba the Hutt, and it kind of made it so it made a little bit more spatial sense to like where Han was walking and talking and things like that, and so he could walk behind him and it didn't look super weird. And I'm like, it kind of makes more sense, but people want to see Jabba.
They could have had Jabba turn and like he's like, don't get behind me or something like that.
Yeah,
but they had that goofy ass like up and then down.
It was just like you know what? If he would, it's not like we were super watching that part. If they would have just had him walk and just did nothing, no one would have even batted an eye. They would just be like, "Well, he just walked around him."
Or do it. I don't know. Do a close up on Jabba's face. Something.
And then have him on the other side.
Yeah. You know what, man? Just real quick, I remember, of course, when the special edition, when they came out, man. And this is maybe for the younger listeners and viewers. They may not have even been born yet, but that was such a big deal and so fun at the time.
Yep.
because we were starved for Star Wars.
Yeah, no, it was a very weird time because like it didn't seem like that. That was a big gap, but like there was nothing for like a good while.
Like you may have had special screenings of the originals and stuff like that, which was fun, but like we didn't really know what to expect, and
we were just living off of books and comic books and Micro Machines and the Star Wars Micro Machines.
And I'll tell you that Jabba, the original Jabba from the special edition, freaked me out because he looked so weird and it was so unnerving. I was like, oh my god,
where's my giant puppet?
Like,
Puppet is quite a bit less creepy. It's just like whenever they whenever they did the sequel prequels, and then you see the first time you ever see Yoda, and you're like, oh god, what's wrong with Yoda? He looks really creepy. I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
He looked very odd.
No H. I saw that you were on a podcast talking about your book.
Yeah, I was. A really nice guy named Dan Kenner. He is a fellow author. He has a podcast called The Casual Author, and I was lucky enough, and he was nice enough to have me on to discuss just basically authory things and my novel. And so I had a really fun time discussing stuff with him, and it was a lot of it had to do with work-life balance, having the obstacles of family and work and family and to basically distract you and take away from you just putting out your little book. But it was a really fun time, and really happy I got to be on. So always fun to talk about booky things, even though and I think as an aside, I think that, and I may have even discussed this, I think I did during that podcast interview, where I was like, I wrote this clean sci-fi superhero YA book, which says like no swearing, the violence is tame, there's no sex scenes, no political agendas, nothing's really anything. It's just a fun book. I'm like, this is an uphill struggle because that's not what the market wants.
Yeah,
they want controversy, and I just like, here's my fun story, like. And I'm like, no one takes their shirt off or anything. You know what I mean? So it's like,
it's not porn. It's not porn. It's HBO.
It's not smut. There's no spice, and no one's sexual orientation is mentioned whatsoever. It's just sort of, but that's not what people want. So I'm gonna have to do another version where I have to insert a message every other line of dialogue. It's the only way to sell anything. So
it's like the second season, third episode of what is the extraterrestrial movie that we've been watching? Resident Alien.
Oh yes,
Independent gender pay gap. Holy shit, that episode just ruined that show for me. I gave up. I was like, screw this.
But, it was. Yeah, so I'll have to go back and add stuff.
There you go. All right, gentlemen. Well, let's first of all, congratulations for that, No H. I'm gonna actually take a listen to that later, but let's move on to the topics at hand here. All right, number one. Okay, this is something really cool. Razor Fist comic Ghosts of the Badlands is now shipping. Nice. So he put out a trailer today for it, and we're gonna go ahead and watch it right now. So hopefully it's not too loud. Share this with you guys. Can y'all hear it?
Yep.
Yes.
I mean, George's artwork is looking pretty good in this too. His inks are amazing.
So who's the artist? George who?
George Alexopoulos.
Oh, okay.
I like the style and the color.
It's kind of like an anime style. It kind of reminds me of, I don't know if you guys have ever read. There's a comic called. It's like the only comic Blom, but it's spelled Blame, Blame. Blom with a exclamation point. It kind of looks like that to me, but this is a lot more sketchy, a lot more like westerny. which is pretty cool. And you can go to Arcade and Comics to actually pick this up. But I don't have to because I backed this son of a bitch, and we're going to be actually getting our digital copies as soon as. Well, let me actually read what I just got an update on this. And let's see here.
This just in.
I got, it was actually 10 minutes ago. Okay. This is from George Alexopoulos. Says, as the shipping has begun, as the title suggests, shipping has officially commenced. Here's the schedule. The monochrome hardcovers have begun shipping today, so I should be getting mine pretty soon. Cool. The monochrome soft covers begin next week. Colorization of the deluxe edition is in progress, estimated to finish this month. Printing to take place immediately after shipping to take place in May. The digital edition will be emailed once the deluxe editions have shipped. Everyone should receive a notification. The package is en route. If there are any hiccups, feel free to message us, though we may not be able to respond immediately. Each message will be bookmarked and addressed in the order received once the bulk of the books have been sent out. Sweet. I'm down. And if you had not backed the campaign, have no fear. You can actually go to arcadeandcomics.com. And find the Ghost of the Badlands monochrome cover as well as the color. But if I'm not mistaken, the color has already sold out. Yes, right here. And that doesn't mean that I don't think that means that it's going to be you're going to be unable to get it ever. It just means I think for now that it's the initial printings are probably
like the first printing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, but you can still get the monochrome edition. I'm going to read it immediately when I get it. So, that's how Razor intended it, so that's how I'm going to enjoy it the first time around.
A second,
I think he intended it
maybe a different cover. So there you go.
I think he intended it for you to put in a bag and never touch it with your oily
face. Mint condition.
No, that's why I guess I got to wait for the digital edition to have the other one hermetically sealed or whatever.
Yeah, I know. But, I did the same thing. Like when that Batman Damned issue 1 came out, I was like, it's already $100 because he shows his dong. Well, I am never touching this.
I would never touch Batman's dong either, Bodz.
Yeah,
we don't blame him.
So I've never even read the issue. So I assume it's in there.
Don't look directly at it, Bodz. That's how it starts.
That's how it begins.
That's how they get you. But I'm super psyched to see this. And I. While on one of the streams for Razorfest, I asked him via Super Chat if it was possible that I could get an interview with him, and Taryn Gill, his co-host, said, "Yeah, just messaged me on Facebook, so I still need to do that. I don't have a Facebook yet. I'm going to go ahead and start that and shoot him a request so that whenever we get and read the book, we can talk to him about it. And I think that would be kind of a cool."
I could have sworn you had a Facebook like from a long, long time ago.
I had a Facebook, but it was my personal Facebook. I had a Facebook for like 10 minutes, and I was like, "This is just like suckier version of MySpace." And I didn't even care about MySpace. I remember the big like MySpace craze, and everybody's like, "Oh my god, you can go to this HTML creator and you can make it all fancy." And I was like, I just don't care.
I totally did that, and I put like when you come onto my page, it played "Runaway Train" by Soul Asylum, but it did a slideshow of my friends, so it looked like they were dead or missing. Runaway train, never going back.
And we were never seen
never seen again. So it looked like they were all missing.
I remember the top 8 spaces and the coveted top 8 spaces, which used to be 4, then they made it to 8. And I remember I created like fake profiles and just had myself as like the top 8 space. Each one was just me.
Didn't even attempt to look differently. You just had like it was just the same one over and over.
Photo. It was my driver's license photo at the time.
Someone call that sad. I call that comedy. But anyways, the Ghost of the Badlands we'll be checking out soon, and we'll be reviewing it, and hopefully we'll get to talk to Razor about this. That's been kind of a goal for this channel since I began. I wanted to talk to creators, and my top creator, there was 2 that I really want to talk to, Razorfist, and the other one is Chuck Dixon. So if we can ever get Chucky D on here, I will.
We just did one with him.
Oh,
you weren't on
sons
it.
of you sons of bitches.
No, that's
Should we have-
right. That's the one Ty said.
Yeah.
That was last night when we said, you know what, Bodz, let's just do one anyway.
Let's just do it anyway.
And he
Yeah,
was like,
this is
Ty's
whenever
busy
I
with
leave
his
into the
2 new
astral
puppies.
plane and then show up behind you and just slit your throat. Okay, so yeah, go ahead and check it out. You can actually go to Razor's channel, and if you want to watch the trailer again, it's there. And good luck, Razor. I hope that does well. I know I'm looking forward to it. So let's move on to the next topic here, and this is a less cheerful topic for some people, but not for others. Take-Two Interactive has been hit with layoffs while also canceling multiple projects in development. So they're losing the house that GTA built is losing 5% of the workforce as a cost-cutting measure. I think they used the term where was it? I read it earlier. It was like restructuring or cost reduction. I believe it was actually cost reduction program. They used to call it restructuring. Now they call it cost reduction program, which is to me is funny because just recently Take-Two Interactive bought Gearbox Software for $460 million. I'm pretty sure that the people that just got laid off were like, what the hell is going on? Yeah. And I don't know if that's going to hit every developer in the publishing sector, because I know they're just the publisher. So I'm wondering if this is just going to hit Take-Two itself, or it's actually going to trickle down to the actual devs. Who knows? That's a kind of up to them. But 5% of the workforce, that ends up being what? Oh yeah, 579 workers. So good luck to those folks. I'm sure there's already a gluttonous market because it seems like every video game producer, developer is laying off. So I imagine this just makes it harder and harder to find a job right now. But usually when you see layoffs like this, you'll see new studios form because a lot of people get together and they'll actually like make their own game. So, but
yeah.
Who knows? I don't know. I don't think it's actually going to delay like GTA 6, which I don't really care about. I don't know if have you. I know No H hasn't. Bodz, did you even play the last GTA?
No, and I know you wanted to, and I got it for free when I got my PS4, and I just never got around it. I really cared a lot more about Red Dead Redemption 2. Which my son is playing for a second time right now.
Whoa!
Campaign. Like
that game's good. It really is.
It's just a really good story, and to put that on the back burner.
I get sick of I kind of get sick of like the modern just the modern game like that, open world modern games.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just driving through a city. I've done enough of that. I feel like I'm in fucking traffic.
I don't, with games like Grand Theft Auto, I love like Grand Theft Auto. Heck, what was it? 3 is probably the reason I got a PlayStation 2, because I was just like, the idea of it was really cool. And then like the next one to come out was San Andreas, but I was like, I don't care about being a gangster, but I care about being Blade. So I made my guy Blade. He had a katana blade and drove the black Charger looking car in there, and I was like, you're just gonna be Blade now. And then 4, I was like, I don't want to be a Russian like bad guy. I'm Jack Bauer undercover. So it just I had to make it, so as a character I care about. But
that GTA 4. I remember playing that and going, "This is the physics in that were so crazy." Mm-hmm. I remember a couple of times I was just like absolutely floored by like how if you did something, you did A, B, and C would be this crazy thing. There was one time where I was like, it was like the first mission, and this guy, I was supposed to take a car from him or something, and he was driving away from me, and I was like, well, this thing's gonna like, I had to Mac 10, and I'd already shot it a couple times, and I'm like, this thing freaking kicks like a mule. So I aimed low. I was like, I'm gonna aim at the license plate and then drag the shot up, and maybe I'll hit him in the head. And that's exactly what happened. I hit him in the license plate, and the bullets trailed up. They hit the driver's side, and all of a sudden the car veered off to the right, hit in a wall, and started honking. And I was like, "Whoa, that is
that's awesome!
That's crazy."
I think that brings me to my first dad bods moment I've had
Oh my god!
in a while.
Hold on! Dad bods moment incoming.
Greetings, super dumbasses.
So this would be my very first dad bods moment, and it kind of makes me like a bad dad in a way. But when my son James was born, my first son, my only son, Brooke was in labor with him for the one I talk about quite a bit, and then the other one's my daughter, so you know who I'm talking about. But when he was born, Grand Theft Auto 4 was out, and my wife was in labor for 3 days with him, and so we couldn't really stay there like all the 3 days. So one of my biggest memories of that time period of the 3 days was I came back home with my friend Omid and my brother-in-law, and we got Jack in the Box tacos, and we were playing Grand Theft Auto 4, just doing the most like crazy things you could possibly think of, just like getting the 4-star, you know, all the cops coming after you, like go to the other island. And that was back when games had like a map in there, and so I was guiding Omid, is like, go turn left, you know. And it was just a fun time, not for my wife, not so much for her.
She's hearing this now. She's like, son of a bitch.
But for me and my friends and you know my brother-in-law, like we had a good time. I have to say,
it was the last night of freedom.
It was the last night of freedom. The last night of
he didn't sleep again. He didn't sleep again for another 4 years.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's right.
But anyways, well, good luck to the people of Take-Two Interactive. Godspeed. I hope you get jobs really soon. Let's move on to the next topic. Something a little more happy. Kind of, sort of. The Kents have been cast in the DCU Superman movie. And are we even calling this Superman Legacy anymore?
No, that's officially dropped. It's just
Superman. So just Superman. Okay.
It's Superman and Friends.
Superman and Friends.
And it's technically the first live action film to actually just be called Superman. It reminds me of when Rambo came out. It was the 4th movie, but it was called Rambo.
Just Rambo, yeah.
Well, Pruitt Taylor Vince has been reportedly cast as Jonathan Kent, which I have like feelings about. I don't really think this is a good cast. I know a buttload of farmers, and none of them are fat people. None of them. I mean, I understand he's an older guy now. And didn't you sent me a text? I wasn't able to find anything official listing the woman that you told me that was going to play Ma Kent. It was let's see, what was the lady's name?
It was someone I had never heard of, and
I've never heard of it. Yeah,
this is doing the opposite of what the MCU does. I mean, they're getting old. These old people, they need to do what MCU is. Do it fresh. Like, you know, you got Marissa Tomei as Aunt May. You know, you got these good looking old people. I mean, back in my day, it was John Schneider and Kevin Costner. We had good looking.
Oh wait, there's something did get dropped about this. Okay, so Neva Howell, this lady right here, is going to play Ma Kent. So she has played. Let's see what she has played in. This is breaking to me because this is the first time I'm seeing anything about this. She was in October Sky. Well, that's a really old movie.
Yeah.
Run the Race and Logan Lucky. Wasn't that with the guy who played James Bond?
Yeah, that was
Daniel Craig. Adam Driver.
Yeah. Okay.
So
it's I saw the casting for Martha Kent. I'm like, cool. Okay. Don't know who that is.
All right.
I'm sure she's fine.
But I do know the actor, the guy. He's a good actor, but you know, just not what I would envision. One thing I remember about that guy was like when he acts, like his eyes are like always twitchy. Do you remember that?
Wobbly.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. Like I said, I know a lot of farmers, and none of them are like. This just seems like what a left wing California guy thinks a farmer looks like. Just some tubby guy. No, they're all the ones I know are all fit. I mean, they do drink enough Mountain Dew to kill your average gamer, but they actually use they really use those calories, man. My father-in-law is a farmer, and he's the kind of guy. He gets up at 3 a.m. He works whatever day he has to work to get stuff done. And like when I first met him, my wife was like, "My dad's really like big. My dad's a big guy," is what she said, and he's buff. And I was like, usually when you hear that from women, you're like, "Yeah, right," because that usually means that's usually my dad's fat. And I didn't believe her. And then the first day we went to like eat with him at a just like a sandwich place, and he stepped out of the car with his wife, and I was like, "Holy shit, that's fucking Captain America over there." He was in such good shape, it was crazy. So I don't know, to pick this wobbly-eyed fat boy to play a Pa Kent is kind of weird to me. And maybe they're gonna have like young, because they always want to tell like the origin story. So it's probably gonna have like a young Pa Kent and old Pa Kent.
I'm thinking, because there have been versions of Pa Kent where he's a little heavier and older, which is fine, but he doesn't really look like the Kingpin or anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
I like to think they are going to do what Ty just mentioned and like show a younger version of him, and it's going to be Reacher, Alan Richardson. He's the young version of it.
Yeah, and he's going to say like, "Cops get away with murder all the time." Like, okay,
oh my god,
no more talking. No more.
That would be a sharp decline if it was Rich. Is it Richson?
Yeah,
Richson. I hate that guy's name. I actually don't like this guy anymore. That would be like a sharp decline if he ended up looking like this Pruitt guy after that. Like, oh, what the fuck did you eat, man? What did you do?
Well, that was kind of a thing on. It was like a joke on Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Yeah, and I think No H remembers that.
And well, in Lois and Clark: The New Adventures of Superman, the Pa Kent, he was kind of heavier.
Wasn't
he wasn't
like that? Was the guy from? Wasn't that the guy from like Dukes of Hazzard?
That was Smallville.
John Schneider.
Sorry.
Yeah, which is the best Pa Kent.
Yeah, I know. That's who I think of when I think of like Pa Kent now.
Yeah, I remember watching that show, and I was like, man, he's like my second favorite character behind. Well, I don't know. Lex was really good in there too, so maybe third favorite character. But like, he was a strong John Kent.
That this guy being cast as Pa Kent, I mean, I remember him from two things: Identity, the movie where he was the creepy dude.
Yeah.
And Mikey, the retarded immortal from Highlander, the series.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, this is the third superhero movie, technically, that he's been in, because, or not movie, but in superhero like entertainment that he's been in, because he was. It says right here that he was part of the Shield, Agents of Shield TV show, and he was also the guy who drunk himself to death or drowned himself with alcohol in the Constantine movie. So this will be his third comic book outing.
Feels like he probably was in something with like James Gunn, like back in the day. Like if we looked it up, we'd be like, oh yeah, he was in this James Gunn movie.
Yeah, that kind of has been well, no, it says right here. It says he was in Heroes Reborn.
Oh yeah, he was.
He was. Was he in Stranger Things?
Maybe.
Who was he in Stranger Things?
I remember him from Walking Dead, like season 2, where we're at the farm and he was the.
Okay, then that makes that's the fourth one. In Heroes Reborn, that would be the fifth one. So wow, yeah, he's been in a lot of comic booky type stuff. So yeah, wouldn't be my pick. I don't know what his vision is. There's a lot of things in this movie that I'm like, like if the emblem is a portent for the future, where we're gonna say, this is gonna end up being like Kingdom Come, I can go, okay, I'll be fine with that or whatever. But it seems to me like he's picking and choosing what he likes. Like he keeps showing like imagery from the All-Star Superman, and now we got the logo from Kingdom Come.
That's a big problem right there, because like Zack Snyder did the same thing where he's picking and choosing stuff, and it made it so like, oh, we're never going to have like a Dark Knight Returns movie because he already did that, So as cool as it is to see things like that, it's just like, if you're doing an adaptation of something, like stick to one thing.
Yeah. It's, I don't know. I'm every time I see some news about, and today is Superman Day.
It is. But we should have missed that boat.
Remembered that.
Well, I was gonna say we did it last year. We did Superman's 85th. when it's his 90th, we'll do it again.
Yeah, we're not going to do it every damn year.
We're not going to do it every year.
We're going to float it every 5 years.
We missed, the bad thing is we missed Spider-Man Day, and we also missed Batman Day.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Which I wanted to do both of those.
Yeah.
And it's just because we when we were, life kept us from doing a show on those days. So we didn't end up doing it. But that was Superman Day. I remember that was like a stressful day for me because I think it was that morning I was told that, oh yeah, Superman Day is today. And I was like, are you
and then
kidding me?
You had to like get all the graphics for it.
Yeah, I threw something together so fast. And it was very stressful at that time.
Yeah.
I need to get a calendar set, and we'll go, this is Green Lantern Day, and this is
Aquaman Day and stuff like that.
Aquaman Day.
Today is Aquaman's birthday.
But
well, I every time I see any type of new news regarding the new Superman movie, like I said before, I'm like, resist the urge to immediately hate this, even though very well about it.
I know it's like it's just like you've been hurt too many times.
I know it's like you kind of get this Spidey sense of like, I can kind of tell this is going to suck. I'm going to try to just,
I see things now, and I think of the old like Ren and Stimpy cartoon with the horseman guy, and he's like, no sir, don't like it.
I don't like everything.
Oh God, that now we have to have that graphic. I'm gonna have to go.
Yes, no sir, don't like it. Yeah,
no sir, I don't like it.
Have to do that for future shows.
But yeah, so Mom and Pa the Cants are cast now. Superman's cast, Lois is cast, but I believe Lex is cast as well, wasn't he?
That's I like him. So we'll see.
Who was the guy? I can't even remember now.
Nicholas Hoult.
Nicholas Hoult.
Yeah, he was in.
I like Nicholas Hoult.
Yeah, he's in Fury Road, and he's Beast, and he's good.
He's also the guy that took all the sex pictures with Jennifer Lawrence. Apparently.
Oh,
really?
Yeah.
Is there graphics of that coming up, or what?
That was scraped by Google. Google scraped the internet of that.
The Dad Bodz moment there, man. I'm telling you.
Okay. Let's move on to the next topic. Let's see. It's the Annihilation 2099 has been announced.
Yeah, I saw that.
A Mr. Let's see what his name is. I know his last name is Orlando. Yeah, Steve Orlando is going to be headlining this event. I guess he did the last 2099 Miles Morales title. And now they're taking 2099 into the cosmos. And we're going to get titles like Nova. It's actually called, I believe they call him the Last Nova. And he comes to a planet, and it's like let's just read it right here. It says a remote town on a remote world is devastated by a ravenous, unforgiving null set. A gang of raiders and thieves obsessed with offering all life up to darkness. But that all changes when the stranger comes to town. So I'm guessing this was kind of like a Western.
Yeah,
a stranger from the stars who answers to his own code. Last survivor of Xandar, the Last Nova. Who is the Last Nova, and what great tragedy does he carry on his back? Is he an inheritor of the Nova Corps or its destroyer? Plus a special backup by Orlando and Dale Eaglesham. Dracula's ship is Dracula. Dracula. We took a turn here.
Yeah, we did.
Set course in the stars, seeking a brave new world. His daughter Lilith forged for the vampires on Earth. But what tragedy does fate have in store for his journey? And will he ever be reunited with his people? I think this is Nick Bradshaw. Yeah, this is Nick Bradshaw's artwork. That sounds cool. Of the ones that I saw, that's the one that I would be like, oh yeah, I'd read that because I'm always down for a Western. Space Western, that's pretty good.
Western omelet, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, this one is the one that threw me. Star-Lord 2099. So this chick is from, I guess, a planet called New Wakanda, or Planet Wakanda. It says Star-Lord guards the solar system of 2099, but she faces a villain like no other. Quasar, the living star, born to a fallen star, raised on Planet Wakanda. Star-Lord risks her life to save the world against the sun gone mad. So she just doesn't want a tan really bad. She's like, no, I don't need any more of a tan here.
Yep.
Quasar. Are they going to be calling him Quasar 2099? Because Quasar is already part of the Marvel universe. So, right? I'm not making that up in my head.
Yeah, Quasar is.
Yeah.
Last I
So
remember.
I have to refresh my memory exactly
who he
who he
is.
is.
And then
Or
Red
she?
Hulk 2099. Red Hulk 2099 explores Ross Romero's team and ends up with mining Ego, the living planet. What makes Ross transform into the all-new Red Hulk, whose cosmic strength and hyperspace jumps, his hyperspace jumps are fueled by the power primordial. That's fucking hilarious. And I guess he's taking out Terrax, the planet hunter. These are all pretty good. If you would have told me they were Arthur Adams, I would have believed you. But this is all pretty good. Nick Bradshaw artwork here. And then the other weird one, Silver Surfer 2099. Apparently, Silver Surfer in this iteration is kind of like a soul retriever for Mephisto.
Weird.
Which is just it's an odd. I mean, so is Mephisto able to give the power cosmic now, or is this the power demon, or what is this? I don't know. I'm not a fan of the design. It just looks like Silver Surfer kind of mixed with Nova, and it's just I'm not really digging this.
No, sir, don't like it. See, that would be good there.
Sir, I don't like it. And then finally, Dracula 2099.
Yeah, now
and they said that this is a return. It says after the derelict spacecraft crashes into the alien world, the wreck reveals a deadly discovery, Dracula. But this planet terrified of the daylight, which Dracula couldn't love more. Soon he's their hero. When a dark hawk attacks from the stars, Dracula fights back. But does he want to save the planet or make it his new empire? I don't remember Dracula 2099. I mean,
I want to see
probably something new. Yeah.
Did y'all know?
But you know what?
I do like 2099.
Yes, I did know about that. I didn't know about Dracula, but I do like the idea of the whole like ship, because that's kind of like, the old Dracula story, the ship coming, across the seas.
Well, it kind of reminds me of, I don't know if you guys have ever seen Vampire Hunter D, the Blood Lust. It's the second one, because there's just originally Vampire Hunter D, and then there's the second one. They had these spacecraft that look like they just look like they're castles, and at the end of the movie, it's not. I don't believe it's Dracula. I don't remember the name of the because they don't even really talk about Dracula much in these movies. The first vampire they met in the original Vampire Hunter D was called Magnus Lee. I want to say Count Magnus Lee. And the second one, I can't remember his name, but they take off at the end, and like his girlfriend dies or something like that, and they live in space forever which I was like, if they live in space forever, isn't that the sun is constantly up? So like, how is that any better? If you're on Earth, you could be in shadow.
Yeah,
maybe
you think you'd want to go to the moon or something?
Close those space windows.
Yeah, close the space windows. I'm gonna burn up there. So that always made very little sense to me after watching that movie. But apparently this is the next big thing for 2099. And I think that they said in the original article here that Miguel O'Hara will be participating in this. So I don't know if that means that you're also going to see Punisher 2099 or Doom 2099 or Ravage 2099. I don't know if you're going to see any of that.
Probably not Ravage 2099.
I would not hold
probably not.
Yeah. I'm curious. I don't remember how long Ravage lasted. I just remember everybody that was kind of the want character. Like,
you're like,
that was I don't know. Couldn't really tell Stan Lee no, and this is the thing.
Because he got real hippie. Stan got really hippie at that time. He's like, well, he's an eco-terrorist, and he's just trying to save the planet. I was like, it's
a no from me, dog.
I mean, he's still a terrorist. He's still inciting terrorists.
Terrorists are bad.
Yeah.
But so anyways, look out for that. And I believe it starts in, let's see, I can't remember. I have such a bad memory of these days. It's absolutely terrible.
Because we're middle-aged.
Middle-aged mutants cannot remember a damn thing. I'm sure you guys can go out there and find it because I don't see it here on this article. Anyways, let's move on to the next topic, and this is on the other side of the pond. DC Absolute Power event has been announced.
I did see about this. Yeah,
and it is I guess Amanda Waller gets a hold of the Brainiac Queen and Failsafe, and she's able to steal the powers from all of Earth's mightiest heroes. Not mightiest heroes, that's not how they say it in DC, but she's able to steal all the metahumans' powers, and I guess she can transplant them into like Amazobots. That's what I kind of gather from this. I am digging the apparently. So for a while they talked about how
Dan Moore.
Dan Moore has become the Jim Lee of this generation.
I like his art. So
yeah, his art's pretty good.
Zoom in on a Batman. I want to see a Batman.
God, just got to zoom in on the bat. He's got capsules slash everything.
I like that.
Look at that.
I like the combo of that.
Yeah, his Batman is pretty epic. I gotta say.
Yeah.
I'm really digging it. But apparently, all these robots here, you see them here. They're Amazobots, and he can. I guess Brainiac Queen and Failsafe have found a way to transplant, I guess, their powers into these bots so that they can help defeat the Justice League. So. I gotta say, so far, I'm a little sick of Amanda Waller myself, but I do say, whoa, look at that bat suit. That looks pretty cool too.
Yeah,
That's pretty slick.
Interesting.
Oh yeah, I like that Flash suit. It looks more like sporty.
Yeah. So I read something, and I guess I thought it was this, but apparently Zack Snyder's doing some kind of like reboot of DC, kind of like a all-star.
Okay,
like
so
a thing where
so what I heard
something about that the other day.
People speculated this event right here was, at least is my understanding, was the DC's answer to Marvel's Ultimate Universe, the way to get their piece of the pie. So
that's what I
don't know. I don't know if Absolute Power is going to be like the ultimate, like that's going to be their imprint. But this is what
they're absolute.
Yeah, because they said that for example, what was it? Recently they said that they pulled Shazam from Wade and Mora because they were doing the miniseries, and I guess they were keep going, but now they have two new people working on it, and they said they were pulling them so that they could work on this book in particular. And everybody was like, "Oh yeah, it's going to come out in May, and it's going to be the answer to the Ultimate Universe from DC." Yeah. And it doesn't appear, at least face value here, it doesn't appear that that's the case, unless they keep the imprint and they're just calling it, they call it Absolute Power or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, so so do you say Zack Snyder? I've made this mistake as well.
I think you were trying to say somebody else.
Scott
I think
Snyder.
Maybe. Do you think I was saying Scott Snyder?
Maybe Zach.
No. I really thought it was Zach. So maybe that makes more sense right there.
Scott
Snyder makes way more sense.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I don't think Scott's writing for DC anymore. He's too busy working on.
He's doing like his own thing now, right?
Yeah, I think it says it's going to be okay. So it says featuring Dan Mora. He's going to be doing Ground Zero #1. It brings together the all-star roster of creative talent to show the plans coming together, including Wade, Maines, Williamson, Zdarsky, and artists like Milenkov. I don't know that person. Marion, don't know that person. And Partridge, don't know that person. So yeah, I didn't see whenever I was reading these earlier, I did not see anywhere where they named Scott Snyder, because he's doing the new studio with Tinian and Tinian, and I'm trying to think of the other guy, the artist Fabic. They're working on the what is it called? It's not really a verse of any type. It's under the Image banner, and it's what the hell is it called? One of the books is called Geiger, the Nuclear Man or something like that, and the other one is like a British guy he's like an immortal like red coat. I think that's what it's called, the red coat or something like that. And then there's another title that Fabic's working on with somebody else, and it's called Rook. And so that's all. They're all. I guess they're trying to create their own stuff now. So I don't think you're gonna see them doing this stuff at all. So
I get the impression that they are going through the career cycle like a lot.
They're doing. They're pulling an Image Comics Revolution here, but it was like more writer focused. Oh yeah, Rook Exodus, and I'm going through my stack here. Geiger and the Red Coat. Yeah, those are the titles that they are working on at the moment.
Yeah, so, they serve their time in the big companies and get big enough. So now, like, okay, we can do our own thing.
We can do our own thing now. So, I mean, good luck to them. That's awesome. I mean,
that's the goal for every creator. So,
and now you need to just create a toy company, and you'll be
you'll be good. You'll be
good. So, but yeah, the art for this looks pretty good. I am very sick of Amanda Waller. I
will say, I haven't been keeping up with my current DC. My comic reading has been abysmal lately, but I will say that at least they have been sort of setting up Amanda Waller to be a major, even bigger player for a little while now. So, so that's no real surprise to me, and also maybe it's a payoff. And you know what? There's been a lot of Amanda Waller, but it's not the Joker. It's not Lex Luthor again. So I will take it.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, I
just wish it was Harley Quinn.
Yeah,
if only we get another Harley Quinn story. Yeah. But I guess George Jimenez is going to be working on this too. I'm really digging his art too lately. He's been doing a lot of Batman, and his stuff's pretty good. I know that I really liked it whenever he worked on for Mark Millar. It was Nemesis. He did a pretty good job on that. His art's pretty good. I would say that he's right up there with Dan Mora right now. So I'm just kind of event weary at this point though. I would really rather just read something that's like a continuous story. Like, let's just keep moving on. I'd rather that than this, because that's why I think I'm digging reading omnis and collecting less singles nowadays, is because you're on a continuous journey with this, and writers change and stories change, but it just seems like every time you have to put like an event name on it, I'm like, oh fuck, another event. It means it's gonna be like 4 issues. It's gonna be in a trade. It's probably not gonna get collected in the big book, because DC really doesn't do that anymore. And
it's always sort of like kind of annoying if you're reading through like a series. Let's say you maybe from the beginning or just from whatever starting point, and you're really interested in the overall story arcs and things like that. Then the event happens, like, all right, we have to detour, read a couple of tie-ins that are usually okay at best, and then you can maybe get back to this character's main story. I mean, you're sort of like the current Nightwing issues. These had this ongoing story about things going on in Bloodhaven, but like, oh yeah, but I gotta do this Titan stuff over here. I gotta kind of reform the Justice League over here. And I'm like, don't you have like a big pressing crisis going on in Bloodhaven?
Yeah. Well, that's what it's like reading the X-Men for the last few years, or actually more accurately, Wolverine. You'd be reading it, and all of a sudden, like, Wolverine's in like a swamp, and he's in this one mission, and he's like, oh shit, he gets called by the Bifrost, and it's fucking Thor who did it. And you're like, what happened? What? I don't know what happened there. And you have to read the what is it called? Swords of X or something, and you don't even know what the hell that is. And that will be right in the middle of your that'll be right in the middle of the story you're reading. You're like, oh. I wish they'd stop it. Just make your own events and then just keep this story going. You don't have to pull. It's not like he's one guy. And you're like, oh, guys, I'm using them right now. You can't use them for your big event story. You can just say that these things aren't happening simultaneously. You don't need to grab them and pull them somewhere else. But Anyways, yeah, if you want to go and read this, go to AIPT. You can also go to comics.com, and they have a whole big explanation for it. But it starts Free Comic Book Day, which is May the 4th, I believe.
Cool.
May the 4th.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of interested in it because it may be a good just jumping back in point for some people. So
yeah, no, I think it's I'm going to pick it up for sure. I mean, it's free.
Yeah.
Fuck. It's a 32-page. Yeah, it says a 32-page one shot with an original 12-page story by Mark Waid, which fuck him, and Dan Mora. I usually show up for Dan Mora, not for Mark Waid, but
yeah.
Anyhow, yeah, go ahead and check it out, people. Let's move on to the next topic here. Okay, the Ultimates got a trailer. We're doing trailers for comics now, guys.
Yeah,
we've lived long enough to see this.
Yeah,
here we go. There's Frank. I think it's Reed Richards as Dr. Doom.
I mean, this is like a new Ultimates, right? Not a continuation.
Yeah, this is considered like they actually write it in this trailer. This is Ultimates 2.0.
Okay.
Which I don't know how they're aware. This is Earth 1660, not 1610. And there's Captain Britain, the maker. Let's see, 2.0. There's Iron Lad. They just left Cap in there while they were thinking about stuff.
Yeah, we'll figure this
Come
out.
on, guys. I gotta say, I do dig that Iron Lad armor. It looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's informed by Kang, but it looks pretty.
Not like that biker helmet thing for the original Ultimate Iron Man.
Oh
Yeah,
yes,
that weird. Yeah.
Which looks like it would be probably more comfortable, but it just looked weird.
What was Iron Man's armor that was that color? Was it Silver Sentry or something
The Silver
like that?
Centurion.
Centurion, yeah. It's kind of got that look to it.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's informed by Kang's design heavily, but it borrows from other things. It's nice. I do dig it. I still don't know who this chick is. I've seen her in there, but I don't remember because this is they have the one shot for Ultimate. They had Ultimate Invasion, and then there was a 4-issue miniseries, and then they had, I think it was just called the Ultimates something, I can't remember, which just kind of told the story of how I guess New York got zapped by the Makers Council or whatever, and then now this is the first time we're going to see the Ultimates since then.
Yeah,
because Spider-Man would have been the next title, and then they have Ultimate Black Panther, and oh my God, Ultimate X-Men is just it's a Japanese manga now.
Oh, no.
Yeah, let me show you. You guys are not going to believe this.
I think I've seen the cover, but I'm not sure.
I have it right in front of me, right here, sitting right next to me. X-Men. Get it right quick. It's done by a young lady named Peach Momoko. Let that set in.
That's not your real name.
And let's see if here we go. This will work. Yeah, here's the cover. Yeah. Let's zoom in here. Yeah, that's
character looks familiar.
So that's armor.
It's like armor, yeah.
It's like psionic armor or something, right?
Yeah, no, it's armor. She can make a armor,
and then there's another character in this book called Maystorm, and that's one I had not heard of until this book, and yeah, I was just like, I didn't pick up the second issue. I picked up the first one, and I was like, some kid like committed suicide in it, and this character's all broke up about it. If I remember right, yeah, that's what happened. Like, I think some kid committed suicide, and then later this young lady, I think she's being chased by like a malevolent force that's like it's not really like corporeal. It's, if I remember, it was like a shadow or something. I'm looking through the book looking through the book right now. Yeah, it's like this shadowy character that's chasing around, and it gives her this little like trinket that looks like the armor set that she's wearing right there. And then she has all these memories of like the kid that killed himself, and I don't know. It wasn't it wasn't me. It wasn't for me. I was sitting there reading it going like, this is not X-Men. If I'm wondering if they finally take it in another direction, like let's say this is just like the opening salvo, they say, hey, this is just like an experiment, and then we're going to go back to like this character is going to join the X-Men, and this is kind of like their jubilee moment, you know.
Yeah.
I might be okay with that, but so far, just I don't know. This is one of the weird ones. This makes me think that CB Cebulski, who is a weeb, just like is I don't know perving on this chick, and he's like, "Oh, you can do whatever you want, Peach Momoko."
So wait a minute, you're trying to say that there is some creepy perverts in the comic book industry?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah. But this is the book. I didn't really care for it, but anyways, to the next topic at hand. Black Panther is getting a open world game, the open world sandbox game featuring the Black Panther, according to based on a job posting that people found on the net.
Yeah.
So I think that's weird that he's getting 2 games. It's by a company called Cliffhanger, and it says right here that the role they helped. It's a role that will be help. Oh God, I can't read this morning. I mean, this evening. It's a role that will help Cliffhanger, which includes talent from Middle Earth's Shadow of Mordor, and expand on the Marvel hero. So I guess this is probably a new company, and they're picking up talent from other places so that they can make this game. Maybe it's just me. I don't really. I mean, it's kind of cool. It'd be kind of like what is it? Forget the name of the game. Uncharted.
Yeah.
With superheroes, because you're playing you got to play in the jungle of Wakanda.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Wakanda.
Wakanda. Do you say Wakanda or Wakanda? I mean,
Wakanda.
How do you pronounce it?
Yeah, senior sandbox designer role. That's how they figured it out for Cliffhanger Games. And so I don't know. What do you guys think? Would you play a game of Black Panther?
The Black Panther game?
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. Right. I'd have to see like what kind of gameplay it is. Like it may be something I would care about.
You know, there's just other characters I would prefer, just simply more interested in. But you know, it's sort of like what we were talking about Amanda Waller. It's like, well, you know what? It's not yet another so and so, whoever. It's like, I was gonna say Deadpool, but Deadpool would actually probably be cool.
Actually, there is a Deadpool game, and that's actually pretty fun. That game's great.
It's actually gotten like kind of like some respect as of lately. Like they've kind of gone back and played and go, oh, it's actually a fun game.
Yeah.
I
would think there's a lot more interesting characters to play an open world title with other than like Daredevil. What the flip?
Daredevil would be way more interesting.
That would be fun in the city, you know.
Yeah, in the city.
You can't tell me you can't do an Arkham style game with Daredevil. You have that detective mode. You can't do like sonar mode or something.
Yeah. Something cool like that.
I don't know. Maybe it'd be like fun in Wakanda, and like it's kind of like you said, like Uncharted, and maybe he's fighting mercenaries or something.
It would be really fun a Moon Knight game where you're just crazy the entire time.
Well, at least
you don't know it's real.
At least with Moon Knight, that way you could do some psychological stuff, kind of a la Dead Space 1 and 2.
Oh
Moon Knight, because he is tripping balls most of the time. And bonus, he's a mercenary, ex-mercenary who has all these. He's kind of like Marvel's Batman, so you can do a lot with that.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And that'd be good. That'd be probably pretty fun.
You know
game.
what? Hawkeye would be interesting to see how they do the bow and arrow thing. Like, if you play a game just for the bow and arrow the entire time, that'd be a challenge.
Yeah, it's called Tomb Raider these days.
Yeah,
Turok.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah.
I don't know. I just think there's a lot more. There's a lot more interesting characters in the universe.
A game with Captain America already, so.
Yeah, why did you have to put like? I would rather have a Winter Soldier game where it's like Soviet Russia, and like you're like taking dudes out, and then you end up having his face off with Captain America. That'd be fucking cool as shit. But no,
This really feels like, oh, he's getting a push. If it was wrestling, like, oh, the management likes him, so they're giving him a push. It's not because there's a bunch of fans saying, please.
It's kind of weird, but like, why are they giving him a push? Because it's like, there's not a Black Panther movie coming out.
I mean, the only thing that's come out recently that involves the Black Panther at all is the Ultimate Black Panther comic. That's about it. And I don't think that last movie did as well as the first one. That was the second movie, or was that the third movie?
That was the second.
It was the second.
Yeah,
I don't think it did as well as the first.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. I watched the first one and I was like, there's nothing here. This is just, I mean, Killmonger was more interesting than T'Challa in that movie.
The first Black Panther movie was okay. It was a Marvel movie. You know what I mean? It had all of the strengths and weaknesses of any other Marvel movie. It was, it was fine.
Yeah. And that's a good point you make, because like Marvel movies are good about giving you like a good bad guy. A lot of times you're just kind of like, I kind of like Loki. I hope he becomes a good guy, So it's like, I guess that's part of their formula, huh?
Yeah, I don't know.
Now, actually, Namor would be more interesting, or Namor, whatever his name is now.
Namor.
I still haven't seen that movie yet. I gotta watch it.
Where he gets beat up by like a 12-year-old girl or something. I don't know.
Oh my god,
stupid!
I just started watching WandaVision again, and I was like, man, the first time I watched it, I made it through like 2 episodes. I'm like, it's not a bad show. It's just it's doing something else. I don't know what's happening until you get to about the 3rd or 4th episode.
Yeah,
and then Rambo gets thrown out of the WandaVision zone. And then they start showing like all these weird things that Wanda saw during the first part of the season. You're like, oh, I get what's happening now.
Yeah.
And then
the only thing about that really is I feel like it could have been reduced down to, I don't know, however many.
Well, they didn't need to go through every decade before they showed off.
It was so unnecessary.
They went through like all the way up to the 80s, and I'm like, they went all the way up to the 70s before they showed Monica Rambeau get thrown out of the zone where all that cosmic radiation was. And I was like, and when, like I said, whenever they started showing like, oh, that was the drone that fell in the bush, and oh, that was the beekeeper that came out of the sewer, that was one of the guys from Sword.
And I kind of wish, and it's like, of course they weren't thinking about this, but I kind of wish it was set up in the slightest possible way that she and Quicksilver enjoyed watching American television and movies growing up.
Yeah.
I was like, kind of would have been nice, because it felt like it was kind of out of left field. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, you wouldn't be watching any of these in wherever the hell you were, Sokovia?
Sokovia, yeah. But anyways, go ahead and check this article out at IGN.com if you want to learn any more, but it's very little here. But anyways, let's move on to the next topic, and that is Transformers 1 trailer. You ever see this?
I have not seen this yet.
Okay,
see it for the first time.
Let me tell you. Okay, I was not prepared for this. Let's see. Does it look better in full screen when I do this? Yeah. Let's go ahead and do this.
Let's do this.
Here we go.
How long do you think we'll be here? I'm not talking to you.
You know what? We are so screwed.
Thought you weren't talking to me.
You two, come with me. Report to Waste Management.
Hi there, I'm B127. I'm actually working on some nicknames. The one I'm floating right now is Badassatron, which is actually pronounced Badassatron.
So cringy.
We're gonna call you.
Like right off the bat, this is
who is that? Who is that voice for? I'm guessing that's
right?
Bumblebee.
There's like Hemsworth.
The Bumblebee guy, I guess. Who that?
Oh, I know. Let's listen to it again.
It sounds like Vince Vaughn, but I don't think it is.
It's possible.
Floating right now is Badassatron, which is actually pronounced Badassatron.
No, that's not him. Let's see. Let me go IMDb this right quick. I don't know if this is here yet. Let's see. Well, that's the first on the first page. Okay, let's see. Well, hello. Okay, so Bumblebee. Okay,
Tuna.
so there's Bumblebee Tuna. So in the movie is Brian Tyree Henry, don't know him. Lawrence Fishburne, Keegan Michael Key. That's who I think it is, who's playing Bumblebee.
Oh, okay.
John Hamm, Steve Buscemi, Scarlett Johansson playing Alita, and Chris Hemsworth as Orion Pax, which I'm guessing that is going to be Optimus Prime.
Oh yeah, it is.
So let's head back to the trailer here.
We're gonna call you B.
I know we're just lowly worker bots who can't even transform.
Would y'all think that Chris Hemsworth would be cast to play
Optimus Prime?
Prime? I just don't see. He doesn't have that great of a voice in his American accent.
He's not. I mean, he's younger Optimus, I guess, but
I don't know.
Out there. There's a reason no one goes to the surface. It's dangerous. Why'd you bring jetpacks? If we survive this, I'm gonna kill you. I accept those terms.
Is that Lawrence Fishburne's? What? That can't be him. No.
As Megatron, or whatever he's named here.
It's beautiful.
Oh my god, this is gonna get us so freaking copyright flagged
Because of Rolling Stones in here.
Because of the music. I forgot that this had music.
I only hear the heavy guitar track they have you have in the background. So
yeah, it's we might have to.
There's music all the way through it. So
yeah,
I do remember that.
You have proven yourself worthy. Take these.
Oh, that's Lawrence Fishburne for sure.
Your full potential.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have to we're gonna get flagged so hard for this. I guess we could watch the rest of it muted because they're gonna flag the piss out of us. Here, let me turn it way down. I don't know.
I'll do the Optimus Prime.
I was like, we're gonna
one shall stand, one shall fall.
I don't know. I mean, if this is how Transformers look when they're young, I guess it's kind of cool. It kind of is reminiscent of Rodimus Prime versus Hot Rod, you know?
Yeah. I don't know. This whole thing is just so. It feels like cutesy and kind of like the new Ninja Turtle movie where it's just for kids and stuff. But when we were kids, Optimus Prime was dying.
Yeah.
Movies trauma to
is that that looks like a Quintesson.
Innocent.
Yeah, guilty.
Yeah, that Transformers movie is way more intense than you would think than you would expect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That looks like Starscream right there.
Yeah, that was Starscream.
The soundtrack to the original Transformers movie is just like
White Lion.
That was. If I see it, they're gonna flag us.
So good.
So don't see
no, it's that. Oh, look, it's Shockwave. It's Soundwave, Shockwave, and Starscream.
Yeah. No, going back to that the original soundtrack. When I was a kid, we had to do a report on your favorite album, and I just sat in front of the TV and recorded the entire movie just so I could get every song. I guess probably back then there was an album with the songs and stuff, but that part at the end where it's playing Dare to Believe.
Yes.
And they right when they hit the Dare, they fly that ship right into Unicron's eye. That's so epic. Dare.
And Dare to Be Stupid was on it too.
Dare to Be Stupid.
Yeah,
there's a lot of. That's right. Yeah,
that was a pretty good. Yeah, that was a pretty good soundtrack. Don't think.
Yeah, it really was.
I don't know. You know what I dig about this? The one thing I do dig about this is that the Transformers designs are very simple. They're not overly complicated, not under complicated. But I do think it's really candy ass of the world now that Megatron can't be a pistol anymore.
Yeah,
it was always a weird thing that he could transform into this gun that could fit in another Transformer's hand. Yeah. But I do think it's really candy ass of us now to be so scared of. Oh my God, guns exist, people. It's okay. We can. I remember being a kid, taking my because I had Optimus Prime and Megatron. I remember being a kid taking my Megatron gun to school and it not being a problem.
Yeah,
I remember taking mini like toy guns to school and it not being a problem. And
you
now
take one clock to school, and now you're on a
no shit.
fly
That
list.
kid in like Texas that took wasn't it a clock or something like that?
It was some type of clock. He became the clock
Yeah.
kid.
yeah. He made a clock that looked like a bomb.
Science experiment. So yeah, try bringing a toy Transformer gun to school now. Yeah, he'd be expelled, jailed probably. But
and what was the gun? What was the gun? It was like a P.
It was a Walther P38, if I remember right, and it had like it had an extended barrel shroud. It almost looked like a silencer. It had a like it's like totally like an ATF like nightmare right now. It had a stock on it, and it had a scope.
That's right.
Yeah, it's funny. Right. It's funny because like they're all nowadays also and also you're a Nazi sympathizer. I see.
Yeah,
yeah.
I remember even as a kid knowing even less about guns than I do now. I was like seeing like the full Megatron with the scope and everything. I'm like, I didn't even know to call it a stock. I just knew like that seems like you don't need that.
Well, I always took it as like Megatron was like so powerful that you needed it. But yeah, nowadays, you can't do that. You can't have a stock and a pistol. It becomes an ATF regulated item and NFA related item. But anyways, this looks more. I don't think this is for us. It was made for us, which is fine. Which is fine. Kids need their stuff. But
you know what? I will say that as far as like new kidified versions of things are, this is by far the tamest I think I've seen, because I think back to the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie that just came out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we could have got another one of those. So all things considered, this is like a movie that like, okay, if you were to watch this with your kids, it wouldn't be vomit inducing as much as the others are. It's like, all right, you understand what it is, but still you kind of long for the days of like, man, back in the day, the old cartoon, it was like, it had the same corniness as any other cartoon, but it wasn't like this, though. I don't know.
No, I think they took it a bit more seriously. Like the storylines were simple. If you go back and you try to watch like a Transformers episode, a Thundercats episode, or something, it's rough. It's a rough. Like the story is very like simple, but
we're just trying to get Energon.
But the design and the I don't know, the design and kind of just the theme is a little bit more adult than a lot of these kids cartoons now, because I like I said, I watched that new Ninja Turtle movie and I was like, oh God almighty. You could tell it was just written as it was just pure comedy is what they were going for.
Yeah.
If you like Ninja Turtles are not, it's not always a comedy. It does have its serious moments.
Yeah.
Especially in the latest incarnations like Last Run and stuff. It's not for kids, but I mean kids get to enjoy Transformers too. My nephews are probably gonna love the crap out of this. But
and I'm just thinking of the toys right now.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of toys for this. But anyways, Transformers 1.
I'd rather watch this, as corny as it does look. I'd rather watch this than any of the new live action ones, because they look like such visual noise.
It just it just makes you, it's vomit inducing. It's so like complicated and
this is simple, like simple designs.
I would watch Bumblebee because of John Cena, and that is about it.
He's in that?
Yeah.
I didn't see him.
I mean, you can't see
me. Oh, you can't see me. I don't even know modern wrestling, and I knew that. This I don't know. I might see it if like say I go visit my nephews and they watch it. That's how I ended up watching the what was it? Spider-Man. into the Spider-Verse. I did fall asleep, and it's just because I was so exhausted. Because my nephews, you get around kids and like pick me up, throw me around. You do that for like a couple of hours, and you're just exhausted.
Where's you at? That's my daughter all day, every day. So,
but I remember watching the first part and thinking, yeah, this is not bad. It's actually not a bad Spider-Man. And then later I saw it, and I was like, oh my god, this is probably one of the best Spider-Man movies that I've seen like ever. Even that's counting all the ones that started way back in like the early 2000s. Better than those. But still, Chris Hemsworth, that's an iffy. To me, that's a really
kind of feel
choice.
Like his accent's going to be too heavy. He would pronounce like
it's gonna pop out every once in a while.
Like
one shall stand, one shall.
Yeah.
That's true. All right, let's move on to the next topic.
I saw John Hamm as a voice.
I don't know
see
who
that at the
he
very
is.
end. It said John Hamm. Me neither.
Yeah.
Might have been a good Optimus Prime, actually.
Yeah.
I saw him on here, and it doesn't say anything like for this Brian Tyree Henry. He's D16, so
he's
I'm
Megatron.
guessing he's Megatron, and Orion Pax is for sure Chris Hemsworth. They don't say who Buscemi, Keegan, Michael Key, John Hamm, or Lawrence Fishburne's names are. They just say
they'll know the guy who. Oh, I feel like I should know his name, but my Transformers lore is just rusty. Get it?
Well, he looks like he's the guy that was being held captive by the Quintessons in the original Transformers movie.
In the jail.
He's the one that tells them about the sham trials that these Quintessons hold, and he's the one who tells Cup and Hot Rod about it. So that's who I thought that was. Maybe they're calling back to if they were doing that. That's kind of cool. Because right now, that's what he kind of looks like. I read the Transformers comic by Skybound, and there's some really cool shit in that. The Quintessons are all in that, and it's just really cool to see them and to know what else happened with them. One of the cooler things is like recently, like Megatron is in the book, but I think he's captured by Cobra, if I'm not mistaken, or the Cobra Law, and his arm has been torn off. But at some point, and so was Optimus Prime loses his arm, and so he needs to replace it, I guess, to stay like battle functional or whatever. So he takes Megatron's arm, grafts it on his body, and he's using it as a weapon. And I was like, that is fucking cool.
Is it his arm with the cannon on it?
Yeah, the arm with the cannon on it. I was like, that is really cool. Stuff like that in the new Transformers comic makes it really worth reading. So for those out there who are like on the fence about reading Transformers, I'd highly recommend it. Go for that shit. It is good. The G.I. Joe's is pretty good too. Not all the time. Cobra Commander's book is not as good as Duke's book, but the definite star is the Transformers, and it's mostly due to that guy who he writes and he draws it. That Daniel Warren Johnson. That guy is actually he's a good writer, and he's a really damn good artist too. I know Shane. Can't remember his last name. Shane Davis was saying that he didn't understand why people would like it because the art was that good. But I was like, you need to crack that book open again, man, because that stuff that guy's putting out is pretty solid. So, anyways, let's move on to the next. I gotta pause that first. Let's move on to this. You guys don't know anything about this, but Bodz, this is a Polish game. So I thought I would share this with you. I played the first one. It is more RPG than Skyrim or The Witcher ever hoped to be.
Wow.
It's called Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, and here's the trailer.
Oh, I think I did see a little bit about this.
Yeah, I played the original one, and it's awesome. I couldn't believe this is the same studio that made the game Mafia.
Oh, yeah.
The Mafia series. And not the same studio, because they moved on from that. Warhorse is the new studio that makes this game. The guy who originally worked on the Mafia game, the first one, he is the lead on this studio.
And then one time traveler comes in.
I always dreamt of leaving this place.
Chris Hemsworth.
He's either him or Chris Pratt. I mean, come on.
I was watching some TV show with my wife, and the guy who is the lead character in this, the one you play, he was on there. I was like, oh God, I know that guy, and it turned out to be this. They just did such a good job with the 3D model that I could recognize him in the TV show. He was
Oh
in.
wow.
Congratulations, Sir Knight. You finally become a man. Wake up. Pull yourself together, Henry.
Yeah, Henry. That was. It had some really good combat too. You had to be like really, you'd be on top of your gameplay, and the archery was like no bullshit. I remember it was. You had to figure out where to aim in relation to the bow to actually hit anything. You don't get like crosshairs or nothing.
To men like you and me.
You still have a long way to go till your work is done.
Oh shit! You got primordial guns in this one.
Wow, looks really good.
Oh, merciful God, be kind and protect us, so we don't blow our arses off. Amen.
I remember playing this the first time, and it is so detailed that you have to like pay attention to like pretty much everything, every facet of like real human life. When you start off, you're not a badass. You can't take everybody on. When you do start to become a combatant and stuff, you have to learn how to fight from like a sword master. I had to learn how to steal from a guy who ran like a bakery. He was part of like a thieves guild. He's like, if you want to learn to do this, you got to go talk to so and so. All the bakers.
Is that part of the game, or is that part of like you decide to do it yourself? You can. I would like to do this.
You can decide. Like if you want to go the thief route, you can become a thief. But it has some of the most the mechanics in this game are so deep. I remember if you want to lockpick, you might as well become a fucking locksmith because it is that hard in this game to actually pick the lock.
That's how I became a locksmith.
That's how I became a locksmith. No, you have to go learn skills because it's not just like you play other games where you get I don't know what's the last one I played that had a lockpick mechanic. Fallout.
Skyrim had one. I'm pretty sure
they're real easy. Like it's just a tiny mini game. This one, it genuinely had to be skilled at lock picking in the game. It's version of lock picking. It's not real, but it's version of lock picking.
No, you said you could do it in the game. You could be a locksmith. This is my plan.
You actually have to go. You actually have to learn. You actually have to go learn to read too in the game.
Well,
because your character is illiterate, and
so when you look at things, do they just scramble it?
I don't remember actually. I think once you do, I don't remember actually.
Is this the first game that you're talking about?
This is the first, Kingdom Come Deliverance 1. I think in the first one you have to learn to read because there's certain aspects of the game that are locked out if you don't know how to read because you're a pauper. Basically, you're born poor. Your father's a blacksmith, and you see in this trailer that your mother and father are horribly murdered, and you become I guess you do become a knight, which is kind of weird because that's not how it works. But
that's not how it works. I've seen Knight's Tale.
Yeah. It's set in medieval Bohemia, and it's really cool. I mean, there's times in that game that are so funny. There's one time I forgot that you have to sleep, you have to eat. If you don't do all the normal, I don't remember taking a shit, but I do remember having to sleep and eat. And I remember one time I hadn't slept for quite a while, and I just was playing, and all of a sudden, my character's eyes started to blink, open and close, and I was like, "What the fuck is happening?" And all of a sudden he falls off the horse, and someone comes and picks you up and say, "You forgot to sleep," blah blah, and you just remember to do that from time to time in the game.
Yeah.
Then there was another another point in the game. Like, okay, so you know how like with The Witcher, how you have like those moments where you go out, you romance other characters, right?
Yeah.
And this one, I went and met a priest, and I didn't realize that like he's like this priest that's like he's like debaucherous, like really bad. And we stayed up all night whoring and drinking, and it was like, you know how we were talking earlier about like there's no porn and all. This game is full of it. There was boobs and bush. I mean, it was crazy. I was like, holy crap. I was like, it's one of those moments where you keep looking behind to see if your wife would pop in. It's like,
Yeah.
what are you looking at?
What are you playing? Nothing.
Yeah, nothing.
That's why they call it Kingdom
knock next
Come.
time. Yeah, Kingdom Come, no joke. But yeah, no, this is an insta buy. This is an insta buy for me this time. I waited on the first one because it was like I waited till it was like super cheap. I got it for like $10. And then sadly, like a couple days later, I got it for free on Epic. So
No.
yeah, that pissed me off. But anyways, yeah, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. My hat's off to Warhorse. They make a hell of an RPG, and I don't think this is going to be any different. So good luck to those guys. All right, so let's move on to the main event. We're skipping actually a topic because I want to get to this. We're going to talk about the Fallout TV series on Amazon Prime. And here's our visual. Okay, so we watched episodes 1 through. Well, I watched episodes 1 through 8. These guys watched episodes 1 through 4 because their busy lifestyle does not allow them to binge like me.
But that is half of the series, right there.
That is half of the series, so we will be able to talk about the other half next time, hopefully.
Yeah.
So this will be Noah's first foray into the Fallout.
Yeah.
Right.
So I feel like I have like this passing like peripheral knowledge because Fallout has become sort of like basically part of the zeitgeist or like the internet zeitgeist, memes and things like that.
Yeah.
So you like from me who never played it, I can like, oh, I recognize the Pit-Boy thing. I've seen that before, but I didn't even know that New Vegas is apparently a Fallout thing. I thought that was a Rainbow Six thing. I know.
That's Rainbow Six Vegas.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. Yeah, Vegas. Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's what that is, right? Like, no, all right, whatever.
You know, they have a Vegas game for everything. There's Call of Duty Vegas.
Yeah. And so as a real newcomer to it, and I like to do this every time I see like a trailer for something that I know I didn't watch or read or play or anything from the original source. And I like to guess like who was race swapped, who was gender swapped, who was who shouldn't be.
Okay,
there.
well, let's play that game then. Like, who do you think? Because a lot of this stuff is original story here, because the Fallout has a weird like timeline. Fallout 3 starts about the same time that this does. The events of Fallout 3 and the events of this Fallout 3 happens right before this, and then the stuff of the original Fallout game doesn't happen until like 2 games later. I mean, it's like it's got a weird timeline.
And
so
it
this
jumps
is
all over the place. So.
Yeah, it jumps all over the place. This is original, and they're saying this is canon. This is canon for the series.
Which I'm already thinking that's troublesome. That is a can of worms. I don't know why you would try to open that, but I originally thought, okay, so the Lucy character probably wasn't in the game, or maybe just a different version of it. But I was like, okay, female lead, that tells me maybe it was part of the game. But I later learned that you can kind of choose different character styles. So I'm like, well, maybe like was there like a main character? I don't even know.
Well, see, in Fallout, the original Fallout, I think you got a pick of, if I can't remember, it's like 3 or 4 characters, and I believe that I don't remember you being able to play a female. And then whenever you get to like Fallout 3, after 2 tactics and Brotherhood of Steel and all that stuff, Fallout 3, you could be male or female. It was your preference, and you just basically built your character. That's what Bodz talks about whenever he plays Fallout 3, he said he built his character to make him look just like himself, and then he goes out in the wasteland, meets the first guy, says, "I need water," tries to go find him water, can't find him water, then quits.
I did the fun part of the game.
So yeah, you can be a boy or a girl in this, and it's fine. Lucy, she did fine. She actually has done. She's one of the only people. The lady who played her, the Purnell, is it Purnell or Parnell? I can't remember.
I think it's Purnell. I
think it's Purnell.
I believe that Chris Parnell is in the trailer.
I know. I was thinking the same thing.
But her character, I'm sorry, the lady who plays her, she said that she went and actually played the game. And so I was like, well, at least, I mean, it's better than any writer or director for any Marvel property. If she actually went to the source to go learn a little bit about what she was doing, because that's.
And I think that's the opposite of what Walter Goggins did. Like he said, I didn't want to hear anything about it because I wanted to
Walter Goggins. Man, and just what a delight. And I'm glad to see that for as many years as he's been, a working actor in a lot of famous projects, I'm glad to see that he's getting a lot of appreciation, because Justified alone is enough. That is worth the price of admission, alone. And, Hateful Eight, and of course, Uncle Baby Billy, you just
Uncle Baby Billy.
And vice principals, where he's like a psychopath.
Yeah.
Where, I mean,
what was his character's name on Justified? I was thinking about that today.
Oh, that was Boyd Crowder.
Boyd Crowder. See, you say that name, I already knew who it was, because like he's so like famous for that role that I've never even seen the show. But you say Boyd Crowder, I was like, oh yeah, that's Goggins.
So, just a delight to watch as the Ghoul character, and I assume they had ghouls in the game.
Yes, there are ghouls in the game, regular ghouls as well as feral ghouls,
boils and ghouls.
Yeah.
You decide.
They can talk to you. They're most of the ones you run across are feral, and you end up killing them. But I did really enjoy his character. Maximus is typical Brotherhood of Steel to me. That from what I've seen of the Brotherhood of Steel, I'm not gonna say that I'm an expert in Fallout, but I've met a couple of the Brotherhood of Steel in either Fallout 3 or 4, and I've played the original. I played the original 3, 4. Haven't played 76, but it's like super cheap now, so I might buy it. But yeah, from what I remember, the Brotherhood of Steel, they're there to pick up relics from. It's like pre-war technology to use in their fight against, because these are guys, from what I understand, the Brotherhood of Steel is like the remnants of the military before the I think it was 2077 was whenever it was like the end of the world, because as far as I know, this is a world where like the integrated circuit was never created. They got, after World War II, they developed I think they figured out fusion. They come up with the fusion core or whatever, and like basically society, like it was like a snapshot and stopped right there. So like fashion, technology, all that kind of like stayed the same.
Oh, okay.
And and they're not really in, this is not really in like the 50s. It's, some of this takes place in like 2020 22, 27 and stuff like that.
Okay, so I thought it was the 50s, just an alternate reality.
No. This is way like in the future.
Years, yeah.
Because they did some really like, so I have the things to ding this for, and they're very small compared to the things that I was like, well, that wasn't bad. For example, like when they first started the show, they showed the Ghouls storyline, Howard's storyline, where they really like they showed the thing about the Pit Boy. If you notice, I don't know if y'all have gotten to this part in the series. The first 4 episodes kind of
he did the thumbs up. And I thought,
the thumbs up, yeah. Because
but why doesn't he have blonde hair?
He kind of has blonde hair. Anyways,
except for all black.
He's just a cartoonified version of the Ghoul. The Pit Boy came first.
This is some real Ghostbusters stuff. Like the cartoon makes Egon have blonde.
Yeah, no
hair.
shit. But anyways, I did like how at the after they showed that part and they get the cut to Lucy, how they showed her talking about her skills. I was like, that's kind of cool, because if you've played the first Fallout game, or any of the Fallouts really, the first thing you do is you're picking like what your perception is, what your dexterity is, you have these different attributes that your character has, intelligence, blah blah, just like all RPGs or most good RPGs. You pick those things and you roll with them as your character. Now, sometimes I think you should be able to play the game a little bit before you have to make those kind of choices.
Yeah.
But the Fallout was the first time I ever played Fallout, the original. You had to go in and pick what your levels were going to be, and you had like, I can't remember, I think you had like 15 points to kind of divvy up between all these things, and that's basically what she was doing in the beginning.
That's basically real life for real people. Yeah, 15 points. I got to distribute them.
Yeah, that's all you get until you hit your next level, and then you get 2 points of experience. So I did like that. I thought it was cool how she wasn't like a insta badass or a Mary Sue. I never felt that way when I was watching it. I felt more of the time that she was playing off the strengths that she had talked about in the first part of the show.
Yeah,
and then you even see her brother, I would say his strength level is at like a 2, and hers is more like a 3.
Yeah.
And he with his intelligence level was about a 9, though. He was very like perceptive. Because remember he goes and he goes to the other vault because he's looking at all these people, and I was like him, why do these people have so many tattoos? They look like wastelanders. What's happening? I can't be the only one that saw that and thought these guys are very much they have to be from the surface, or something's going on here.
I saw him, I was like, uh-oh,
yeah. And so his perception and his intelligence are much higher than his sister's, but I thought that was kind of cool. The humor in it was pretty good, especially the first episode. Like all the stuff about, like, cousin stuff is okay for the most part, but that's not a way. We have rules for a reason. I like how they didn't shy away from the topics that everybody was asking. So what happens whenever the gene pool is so small here? What happens, as generations go forward? You're going to be related to everybody. You have to do something. They tackle that subject. And the cool thing is it did stay within, as far as I know, it did stay within lore. The vaults, each one of them is like a science experiment going on. So vaults will be having different like social experiments or actual physical science experiments going on at each vault. It just depends on which one you're in. And y'all haven't gotten to the entirety of what that means in here, but I did like how they kept that in. And
I was enjoying this series up until they tackled the subject of the pay gap in the wasteland.
No shit.
I knew he was going to go there. I knew.
Yeah, brings us to the Brotherhood of Steel and the I call them the Zim and the Zers. I don't know what to call them, so we're just going to cover it all. I figure Zim and Zer covers it all. I don't know whether I call you they or whatever. I don't care. That's up to you. Keep it to your damn self. That character in the Brotherhood of Steel, I don't know. Maybe it's just me that just felt like a presentism. But it is
huge
the year
presentism.
Yeah, it is the year
Guys,
22.
we should probably tell the audience what presentism means. I mean, I know. I know what it means. I just
presentism is basically just looking at a either a past or some other topic through the lens of your today or now or whatever. So having having a trans character in Fallout, I don't know. I don't know if there ever was one. I don't remember anybody ever saying anything. I've never seen it. I would think that would not exist there, but it exists today. So they put it in the TV show, and it feels.
Of all the high fantasy, heightened reality, that's what makes the immersion kind of lessen a bit.
Break, yes.
Okay, this
presentism's break immersion, yes.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, they're doing this because it's
in
topical
a world
today.
In a world where it's basically you go on the surface, it's a meritocracy. You either are good at everything, you're good at things and you survive. you're smart, you're ingenuitive, you're something, or you don't live. And I'm telling you, nobody's going to give a shit about your pronouns on the surface when they're eating you or making ass jerky out of you. You know, nobody's going to care.
And one thing I'm like, okay, so the world pretty much got stunted or stalled or paused kind of at like the 50s, right? And now there's been like this slow advancement and just weird, bizarre reality now. I'm like, if this is like 200 years from like the 50s, if it was just the 50s for essentially 200 years, and I'm like, I don't know if this would be happening. Because you need to tell me in the 50s, they would have. Now, granted, I know a lot happened in reality is completely different, but I'm like, it just seemed a little like, would that happen? You know, but you know, they seem to be. On the one hand, they seem to be kind of desperate for members, you know, recruits, but on the other hand, they seem really picky about who gets to do what. So, I'm like,
so they picked, that was the other thing. So they picked Dane. I guess that was the name of that character. They picked Dane over Maximus. And I was like, I don't know.
I don't think Dane could carry that golf bag Squire pack.
Gigantic. Yeah, it had like I can't remember the name of the
big
rifle.
gun.
It was like a Maxim rifle or a it was there's a gosh, I could tell you it starts with a W and I can't remember the name of the weapon. But I don't think that they could carry that and be like effective in combat. And so as much as what's his head was such a dick in that. Oh yeah, we got to hit spoiler alert. Sorry, folks, I did a little bit too late. Okay, so what's his name? The
Michael Rappaport.
Michael Rappaport.
Oh yeah.
I don't think he would. I don't think Dane would have been able to live with or be able to work for Michael Rappaport as he acted in this movie because he was like a turbo dick.
Yeah.
He got everything he deserved.
Was one of the main antagonists on a season of Justified, so nice to see.
So that's why he got the job. Yeah,
mini reunion, sort of.
This is by the maker of Justified too. I'm kidding. It's not.
I don't know.
But let me ask you this. So I know the robot armored soldiers things is from the game. I remember seeing those things, but I don't remember ever piecing it together. That's from Fallout. I probably looked at one of those, thought Warhammer, and moved on.
Yeah,
it's reminiscent of Warhammer a bit. Yeah, no, the T. I don't know all the T versions.
T60.
I think the T60s are what they're using in this. They were used in the last war with I think it was China, and so China. So, and the Walter Goggins character, the Ghoul, he actually wore a set of that armor in that particular war. He does know some cool things about it that later he'll talk about and take advantage of.
And you can play as one of these knights in the game.
Yeah, you can join. You can join the Brotherhood of Steel, at least in
if you're a girl.
If you're a girl, yes, you can join the Brotherhood of Steel. I'm sure that they have different jobs for you, but you can join them in the game. It's in Fallout 4. It's not that hard to join them. I think I joined them maybe a quarter of the way into the game. You get the power armor in the first chapter of that game. It's pretty easy to find in there. But yeah, it's cool. It's wearable. It's functional. You take a lot of damage in it. Not a lot of damage. You can pee in it. I think the first fight you ever have in the armor is against a Deathclaw, and they showed a skull of the Deathclaw in this thing, which I thought was cool. But you fight a Deathclaw, and you get like a minigun. It was pretty cool. But
yeah, I remember the name Deathclaw. So
yeah, the Deathclaw.
I wonder if do we see one of those in the?
You saw a skull of one in this. Yeah, it was pretty cool. But
I do like the Squire he got because he was on. He's on a couple things. What was that show? Son of Zorn or Son of you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, it was
a cartoon.
It had Cheryl Hines on it, and
he was the son.
Are you talking about Johnny Pemberton?
Yeah,
and he's Thaddeus character.
Thaddeus, yeah, he was on Superstore. He was the annoying boyfriend of one of the characters. Like wah wah wah. But he's funny. He's a funny.
I just remember him. I remember him from. I think he was on 21 Jump Street and 22 Jump Street.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah,
I believe that's where I remember him from.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if in episode 4 it has the happenings happened to him yet. Did something bad happen to him yet?
The thing tried to eat him. The
Okay, so
gulper.
the gulper tried to eat him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those first 4 episodes kind of meld together for me, so I'm trying to remember like what specifically happened in each one.
Yeah, and man, episode 3, I straight up fell asleep through. I was definitely paying attention to those previously ons, trying to piece together. Like,
yeah, it was kind of it was kind of slow at the beginning of this.
Yeah, I fell
the first
asleep
episode's not slow. It's pretty crazy. Whenever the Raiders start going crazy, in the vault, that was crazy. In episode 2, whenever I think in episode 2, he actually, because at the end of episode 1, because Dane goes ahead and well, I don't know if you guys know that. I don't know to ruin that for you. Well, hell, it's fuck. You're gonna find out. Dane was the one who put those razors in their boot. So she's she cut herself basically to get out of going into the wilds. Terrified of doing it, and then that's how we know that Maximus ends up becoming the squire to Titus, and then goes on to the wilds, and then he ends up getting killed by that. There's the name for those bears. It starts with a Y, and I can't remember what it was, but he fucking totally deserved that shit. And then he heads over to Philly along with Lucy and I can't even remember the name of the scientist guy who heads off. Well,
it's played by Michael Emerson.
From Lost. Yeah, and I thought that I liked the second episode. The only thing that really like bothered me in the second episode was them callously throwing the little puppy in the furnace. That irritated the shit out of me.
I knew you would not like that.
I got me mad. And then you have her head to Philly, and then she meets with the guy, and then you have the gruesome scene where he has to put that extra leg on.
Yeah,
I thought the ghoul was fucking like did not fuck around.
I was a little bit like no H at that point. Like I'm liking the show. It was an exciting point, but I did fall asleep, and I woke up and I was like, and I'm watching it with my wife, and I was like, where does leg go? You know, and she's like, oh, the ghoul shut it off. I was like, oh damn.
Yeah. The ghoul has that. I don't know if that gun is like lore accurate, but that thing blows limbs off.
Yeah,
puts big holes in people. It looked like it had a little warhead in it. But yeah, he shot that dude's leg off. They end up sending him to Moldaver because he has the little tech piece that he got. And then Goggins stabs the dog, and I was like, oh, fuck. Like, the ghoul's my favorite character, and that I have just the worst time with dogs getting hurt. I mean, I have an easier time with kids getting hurt than I have with dogs.
I was asleep at that point. I was worrying about the dog. So
the dog gets hurt. However, in Fallout lore fashion, the stim pack, which actually that's another cool thing, is whenever Lucy's fighting her husband off in the vault, she gets stabbed with like a big K-bar. Yeah. She immediately goes to the med kit in her bathroom, and she pulls out a stim pack, and I was like, that's cool, because they kept it that's the way it is in Fallout from the beginning, that you have the stim pack. That's how you heal herself, and that's how she healed herself. And that's how but unfortunately the stim pack apparently doesn't grow back limbs. You have to be ghoulified to grow back a limb. So but I did like the fight between Maximus and Goggins. I thought that was a pretty cool thing, because the ghoul, to me he's like Angel Eyes is who I think he is. Or not Angel. Is Angel Eyes from the where it was played by Lee Van Cleef? Yeah, Lee Van Cleef was Angel Eyes. Yeah, he Lee Van Cleef. That's who he like. To me, that's who he's playing. Because there's another scene later where he's eating at somebody's house, and it reminds me of the very beginning of The Good and the Bad, the Ugly, and I was like, oh, that's really cool. I really
I was thinking kind of like the gunslinger from Dark Tower, just because of his clothes being so tore and ratty. Not that he was all messed up, but like his clothes like had just been through the apocalypse. You know.
Well, and it's funny. This is what a role for Walton Goggins because he gets to play the good, the bad, and the ugly. All just different stages.
No shit.
All those. Yeah. So the last thing I saw of episode 4 was like him watching the movie, and that was where he was telling the director, he said, "Do I have to kill this guy?" And I think this is the turning point for his character, where he's all like, I do. Well,
it showed growth, but in like the opposite direction because it showed he was like he was a good man.
Yeah, he was
from the beginning. He didn't believe that a hero kills somebody in cold blood. But
even in the very start, he was like, "Why don't you do your trademark thumbs up?" It's like, I don't think in the current.
I don't think that's appropriate. Yeah. Because he knew what it meant. He's like, that's kind of the implication there is pretty. It's kind of a horrible thing, and I don't like it. I don't know. I really dug his character. A lot of people are saying it was a shallow character. I think that it's the typical Western archetype. He's the silent type when he has to be, but he's loud when he has to be too. And he's this guy has grown in the opposite direction of most heroes. Usually, if you watched The Quick and the Dead, you'll have a character who's like a really shitty person when they're young, and they become a very like they become like a preacher or something when they get older, and they renounce their ways. This guy went totally the other direction because he just gets so fucked over in the series.
And you think partially what his character, like the purpose he serves, is to show Lucy like this is what you could become, or this is what
you're going to have to become.
Yeah, this is what it takes to survive here.
Because remember, there's that talk that the scientist has with her. Because she falls asleep and that guy shows up. He goes, "You should never have a campfire going in the night. You obviously are not from here." And then he says, "You're a vault dweller." That makes sense. And he talks about the rad roaches and how they developed. He's like, well, everybody thought that they were going to survive, but they not only survived, they thrived because they changed all these things. And he's like, you're going to have to change too. And that's the same message she gets from the ghoul. He's like, you're going to have to do something. And she does. She ends up drinking I think she said it was like, did she say it was like piss or something?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was
animal.
I'm pretty sure it's animal piss.
Animal piss.
Animal piss. Yeah.
Man, that was a tough scene to watch because her rad meter's going crazy and she's so thirsty.
Yeah, and that's very reminiscent of the game. You get anywhere near water and your pit boy starts going crazy. The Geiger counter starts to go off like crazy. And even I don't remember. And so you 1 through 4. Does she meet Maximus again after he's had his fusion core stolen?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so she doesn't meet Maximus again. Okay, so there's something else in there that's very lore accurate too that happens later. But she looks like she's suffering from radiation sickness. A while after that, you guys said that she does in episode 4. I believe she does go to the place where the I can never remember the name of the floating robot. I knew any
Matt
of the
Berry?
The Matt Berry character. I can't remember what the name of the actual robot is, where it's going to chop her up. I did think it was strange.
They call him Snips. I don't know his real name, but they just call him Snips.
Yeah,
he calls him. What was it? Johnny Daytona, whatever his character was on What We Do in the Shadows. He made an American character named like something Johnny Daytona or something Daytona. I know I'm wrong. It's the first name something else.
No clue. Is it
my name is Johnny Daytona?
Is it Johnny Daytona? Is it?
But it's probably not even Johnny. But his last name was Daytona.
Is it Cogsworth? Something I can't remember what the name of that robot was. But I don't remember being able to graft other people's body part. Whenever they pulled out that like the black person's finger and they grafted it on, I was like, wouldn't that be like super duper like decaying?
Decayed, yeah.
It was just like in a box.
I'm like, they should have just got the finger back from the ghoul and put a real finger on. But that's just me.
That feels like that's introducing a lot of
like horrible bacteria and stuff.
Yes, bacteria into your body.
Same thing with the guy getting the put back on. I'm pretty sure that's not how you do it. The whole grinding thing and put that on. And
oh yeah, dude! And the blood that shot out after that was crazy.
Yeah.
And then the chainsword, the Ripper or whatever. I have that in Fallout 4. That's in the game. Whenever he pulled that out, I was like, oh, I know what that's for. And then she's like, you're gonna have to behead me. I've already. And he's like, I already taken this pill, so you're gonna have to do it whether you like it or not. And her leveling up there by chopping that dude's head off and taking it with her, that was pretty crazy. So far I'm digging her character as well as, I mean, I like Maximus too, but her and the Ghoul are kind of my favorite characters.
Yeah, I like her because she's like okie dokie, like she's like,
yeah, she's just down for
she's
anything.
got that like,
although they kind of make her a little bit too like, whatever that guy. First of all, they show too much man ass in this movie. I mean, in this TV show.
Yeah.
And then she's like, I guess we'll have sex right now.
Turkey.
Yeah, no, yeah, the
No,
Husker Key.
Yeah.
They make her a little bit too like, she just met this guy. I guess they're gonna just do. And I understand it's the future. You know, you're just procreating for the sake of procreation. You're not trying to, you're not trying to fall in love at this point. She said, "I just want to marry a guy. I want to marry him today," and then that's what she wanted to do. But it just seemed like a bit abrupt.
Well, she's stuck in that vault. So this is like a lot like the Brendan Fraser movie.
Yeah.
Because he just wants to get out and. Remember, he doesn't want to fall in love. He just wants to procreate. No, that's the opposite of the movie. But
yeah,
but Fallout is loosely based.
I just remember the part of
Everybody
that movie
knows
that made me laugh was when his dad's like, "Okay, like don't go in the adult bookstore. There's poison gas in there." And like he walks by when he's like, "Oh my god!" He starts freaking out and telling everybody, "Step back! There's poison gas." And his dad drinking hot Dr. Pepper. Do you know that's a real thing? There's a real, like that was a real drink back in the day. They said, "Oh yeah, drink your Dr. Pepper hot" during like the
that was the thing. Hey, gross. Wasn't Nathan Fillion like the jerk boyfriend in there?
Oh God, I don't remember.
I think he was.
I don't remember. So far so good on this series. I know there's a season 2 coming. It's already been announced on. Well, I saw it on IGN. They talked about there's already going to be a season 2. I can't talk about. I'm just, like I said, I can't talk about to the end of the series to say what I want to say about.
Well, we can say it next week.
Story in its entirety. But the first 4 episodes are good. They do drag at times, and you will catch yourself. If it's late at night, you will catch yourself kind of like going, nodding off.
Yeah, that first episode was like an hour and 17 minutes or something like that. It was a long one.
Well, fortunately for me, my wife enjoys the show, so I get to watch it.
My wife is watching with me while she's looking at Pinterest, so she's kind of watching it with me.
The best part is watching the beginning of the episode, hearing the tail end of whatever TikTok video is being watched at the same time. So that's,
well, my best part is her waking me up in the middle of the night saying she's having nightmares because of that show. And,
what?
Yeah, she said she had some weird dream about like it being in the Fallout world, and it was. She's all like, it just creeped me out, and I was like, well, you can jump off this train anytime you want, but I think she's kind of like slightly invested. Yeah,
too invested,
because it is a good story. Like it's got mystery, and we don't know exactly everything that's going on just yet. So.
Yeah, you guys don't. But what do y'all think of Howard's wife? The
last thing I saw was like she was the one who opened Vault 32 with her pit boy. That's all I know. Yeah.
Like the mom Rose?
Yeah.
Yes, the mom Rose.
And then the Raider lady said, "You look just like your mother," or something like that.
No, I'm talking about Howard's. I'm talking about Howard's wife, the Ghoul, his wife.
Oh, I don't know anything about her. They've only showed her for a little tiny bit.
Because she's in the 3rd episode.
Yeah, they talk about like she works for
Vault.
For Vault, yeah.
Yeah, so I didn't know if they
really know enough about her yet. I guess
she becomes a much bigger player later, and they do show her because you remember in the very first episode, the very first part where the young lady who plays Walter Goggins' daughter, the run away from the nuclear bombs on the horseback. They say he's a commie because they're like, why isn't he working? What's he doing here at a kid's birthday party? And somebody goes, oh, he's a commie. And then they later say that they also say that he's doing it because of alimony. So he does have a falling out with his wife. That he has a falling out. Yeah, he has a falling out with his wife at some point. So you guys do know that. I thought there was more about her, but I guess not. I guess the third episode is mostly them trying to. It was Goggins tracking down Lucy after having the fight in Philly, and then the whole Gulper incident.
Yeah, and actually, the fourth episode doesn't have any of the night stuff. So no Brotherhood of Knights or there's nothing. They're not in the fourth episode at all. The Knights.
I did like the one that didn't know he sent this earlier, made me laugh because I had forgot about this line where he says it's like the no end of bullshit to waste your time. That is so true in Fallout and in most of these games made by Bethesda. You'll be playing it and they'll be just like some guy that runs up to you. He's like, there's some kind of such and such MacGuffin over here that you have to get because we need to do this. And you're all, I'm already on a fucking mission, bro.
Yeah,
I can add it to my thing, but holy shit.
That was Skyrim. I mean, geez.
It's just constant. It's just never ending amounts of bullshit that you had to deal with. I like that he called attention to that. I like the little things like whenever she's sitting under campfire and she's eating
deviled eggs.
She has her rashes. Those deviled eggs, that's in the game. That's the gumdrops, the sugar bombs, all that stuff is in the game.
Deviled eggs do seem like a 50s kind of dish,
like a snack that. But the deviled egg that you've had in your backpack all day, that to me was like, oh, good Lord.
Yeah, that's an accident.
You might as well drink the irradiated piss at that point. Because you're
you know who makes good deviled eggs?
Who?
No H.
I haven't made them in a long time, but because they're easy to make.
Yep.
They're kind of tedious to make to me.
They're a little tedious. My daughter loves them, so
I would make them more, but I don't have the patience to peel those eggs.
I know that's the worst part about it.
Oh, dude, I have a trick to peeling eggs. I learned it from this Russian guy on YouTube. It's kind of a little bit gross, but if your family's the one eating it, it's fine. You do the egg right. You boil it, and then you just knock a little hole in the top of the egg and a little hole in the bottom of the egg.
Yeah.
Put your mouth on the top hole and then blow as hard as you can, and the whole egg pops out the bottom, and you don't even have to crack the rest of the shell.
What?
Yeah.
Was this video behind a paywall? That's what I did you have to subscribe to watch? Tell me you tipped. I'll keep that in mind.
So far, so good for y'all guys on this. You're going to keep going with it. You're still strong.
Yeah. I kind of want to go back and play 3 now and get that guy his damn water so I can find out a little bit more about Fallout.
Is the Ghouls Walton Goggins? Is he in the game at all, or is he brand new?
I remember a character that looked very close to him, but you got to remember this is not the same. This is not the same. This is part of the lore, so it lives within there. So he's his own character. I do remember there being a ghoul, but I don't remember he wore like a cowboy hat or whatever. So there are other ghouls that are like characters that you can meet and talk to, and I remember one. I think one ghoul was like no, that was a synth, if I'm not mistaken. Was kind of like a detective, if I'm not like a hard-boiled detective.
Mm-hmm.
But it's been a while since I've seen a ghoul that was that memorable for me, because recently I was playing Fallout 4 and I went to this one town in the middle of I think that game is set. No, that's not West Virginia. It's not the DC capital. I don't remember where this one's set in. Anyways, I walked into the city and it was full of ghouls, and they were just kind of doing their own thing, and they were dressed as like 50s gangsters and stuff. So you see ghouls all the time, and I couldn't pick out one that was. I couldn't at least remember one that looked like him, but I do like I do like that they have the non-feral ghouls in here. He just doesn't sound like him. Most of the ghouls that you talk to, they sound like this. They got this really gross voice.
Yeah.
They all have that, like they're all irradiated and their throats are torn up and all that. I mean, they're much grosser. He actually looks like one of the cleaner ghouls that I've seen.
He's taking care of himself.
Yeah, they're most of them have stuff wrong with their eyes and stuff, and they're just gross. And the feral ghouls, you know, because in the 4th episode, he meets up with the feral ghoul that makes the ass jerky, right?
Yeah.
You can tell Bodz did like the ass jerky. Yeah. I just like he tells her, "Why am I doing all this work? Ass jerky ain't gonna make itself." I like that they were showing, like, if you don't get this drug, because I don't remember them actually talking about that in the game. That might just be something added. But you have to take like this cocktail of intoxicants to stay like a normal ghoul, not a feral ghoul.
So he's kind of in a state of living death, kind of, right?
But he can heal from most wounds. He's super irradiated, and he can heal from most wounds. Like if he breaks a limb or something like that, he can heal it. If a limb is cut off or whatever, I don't think he can do anything about it. But like if it's broken,
I kind of just looked at his character as like, technically he's kind of dead, but he's reanimated sort of, and it's just a really interesting take on the zombie.
Yeah. I just like how they have to like repeat to themselves, like, I'm so and so, I'm so and so, like to just remember their humanity, because it's like slipping away, and how he's like that. That's I imagine to the ghoul himself, that's like a fear, like a terror of his, is like changing and not remembering his daughter. Because I'm pretty sure the reason why he gets involved is because he wants to get to figure out where his wife is, because remember, she or y'all haven't been told that yet, that she's trying to get into one of the good vaults, so he knows that she's possibly still alive, because some of the vaults, I think, especially if you played Fallout 4, you know that some of them had like cryo technology, so she could still very much be alive. We still don't know what happened to his daughter, because they don't really talk about that, and he doesn't mention it later at all. So I'm wondering because if he's a ghoul, that I don't think he made it to the shell. I don't think he made it to the Fallout vault. So I don't think he's gonna
buried in the ground when we first seen him in his full.
Yeah, but they said he had been buried. He had been a bounty hunter, working as a bounty hunter, and then somebody had caught him and put him there and just drug him perpetually. So
is that? I mean, he wasn't getting his was that drug like his cocktail?
Yeah, and I don't know what they're taking, because in their game, the game is littered with drugs. You can take the cool part is you can take some of these drugs to help you with attributes that you're like lacking. Like, for example, like let's say you're over encumbered. We've all played games where you get over encumbered because we're all pack rats at heart. You can take buff out, and buff out will increase your strength, which increases your carry capacity. And then if, like, let's say you couldn't fast travel, so you could go sell the shit, now you can fast travel to sell the shit. They have stuff like Psycho, I believe, in the very first episode, one of the guys that was like out of his fucking mind, like beating everybody to death. He sees Lucy and he takes a puff off that inhaler. I believe that was Psycho that he was taking. And then they have other drugs that are not intoxicants that can help you, like they have mentats that I believe increases your perception and your intelligence, if I'm not mistaken. They also have Radaway, so if you get if you drink some irradiated water, or let's say you fall into some place that's irradiated and you start to take on sieverts, you can actually get rid of those by taking Radaway. In this version, it's an IV bag. Which I would not let anybody stick me with an IV in the post-apocalypse. I just would not let you stick me with that.
Give me that rusty needle.
Yeah, in the game, it's just a couple of tablets you take, and it actually gets rid of your radiation level. So that is cool that they had. I mean, that was lore accurate. But overall, I like it. I do not care for the present. Like it's on this series' shoulder. Like this has got Amazon's politics on display.
The fingerprints all over it.
Yeah, you can tell, and it's not so obtrusive that I can't enjoy it, but I really would like for it to. I'd be very happy if it wasn't there, because I don't mind that it's a female protagonist, because she isn't like instantly good at everything. She tells you what her weaknesses are, she tells you what her strengths are, and she gets her ass beat during this series. The ghoul, you can tell the ghoul's strength, his strength score is really high, his perception is really high, his intelligence is really high. He beats her, because he's got more experience than her. And Maximus, you could tell he's not the brightest bulb, but he's got high strength level, and he's pretty dexterous. She's pretty dexterous, but the power armor gives him an edge, and he can hold his own against the ghoul, at least for a time. So that kind of stuff I really thought was cool. It really gave me the vibes of the game. But yeah, just remove the presentisms, and I would really much more enjoy this. And if y'all wanted to say anything more about that, that's what I think of that series.
No, I mean, pretty much summed it up. I think you just get rid of some the feels like an anachronism or whatever. It's just put weirdly, but just you kind of get rid of that, and really for the first 5 episodes, like I've watched, that's sort of, you can, once you get that out of the way, you don't have too much more of that I noticed. Like, and one scene that sticks out to me is when they're on that bridge and they have to cross, and Lucy's trying to like find the peaceful way out a bit. Meanwhile, Maximus kind of knows.
Oh yeah.
And I really enjoyed that.
That's what I'm saying. Maximus's perception is higher. He's also got more experience than her in the Wasteland. I thought that was a cool scene for him. That's one of his best scenes, to be honest. But it was nasty too. So you've actually, on the 5th season, so you've seen the vault that they actually run into in that episode. Yeah, I forgot that it was 5 that they run into the other vault. That was a cool scene. I won't ruin it for Bodz, but anyway. So hopefully next week we'll be able to go ahead and talk about the rest of this series.
Yes, that's the goal.
So far it's been fun for me, and I'm glad that these guys have enjoyed it. It's actually done a pretty good service for the Fallout series in general. Just days ago they announced that Fallout 4 is receiving an update, and it's been a long time since we got an update. It's also getting a next gen like version, I guess. Cool. I don't know if it's going to be downloadable or if it's going to have physical copies. I doubt that it's going to have physical copies.
Yeah.
But you guys get like 60 frames per second, and they give you all the crumbs, don't they? But we get we finally get widescreen and ultra wide support, which is what I've been bitching about for ages. Native ultra wide support is what I've been looking for, and I believe they're also going to give us an FOV slider. Thank God, because I'm so sick of going into the INI to change the damn FOV. So finally, you brought this game into at least the 10 years ago back freaking gaming experience. But anyways, that's about all I got for this episode of the Middle-Aged Mutants show, boys.
All right.
That's all I got.
I really appreciate you guys showing up. Y'all got anything else to say?
I showed up. Can I have my family back now?
No, but
give me back my family.
Oh no, man! But just remember the golden rule, and you should be fine.
Yeah.
No shit. All right. Well, for the Middle-Aged Mutants, for Bodz and Noach, this is Ty signing off. See you next time.